If you look behind me, you'll see a silver plaque. That's for 100,000 subscribers. That's for Gray Furnace Man, not for electric car. Would you please subscribe so I can get another one of them things? Thank you. Looks like Tesla just announced the new Model S coming out. First since 2012, although they did change the front end. I got to looking at it. I mean, I don't think there's any deliveries till March. But I got to looking at it, and I bought a Model S in November. And at that time, there's lots of talk about this new Model S coming out in the Plaid and so on. And I considered whether I should wait until the new one came out. I went ahead and bought in November. It was early November, I think I got the car. And I'm looking at the specs and at the pictures and so on of what this new one is. And I'm just going to give some opinions and a few things that I know about it. If you're going with the Plaid Plus, because there's a Plaid and a Plaid Plus, I didn't know they're going to do that. It's got 3 motors, 1,000 horsepower in Plaid, and I think 1,100 in Plaid Plus. I'm not absolutely sure on the numbers. Good grief, the one I've got's got almost 800 horsepower. And it scares me to death when it's in ludicrous mode. So, yeah, I don't know that I really wanted that. The interior, I like the new screen. I think that probably should have been done quite a while ago, putting it in a portrait mode. You have to go down too far to change the screen, and it gets your attention away from the road. Other than that, it's got the same diffuser system that the Model 3 had, where it went all the way across. I don't care. I've been in Model 3, yeah, that's cool. And Model S, yeah, that's cool. I didn't think it was a big deal either way. But that's changed. The steering wheel, I don't know about that. It's almost a steering wheel that you'd use if you're not going to steer it. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I don't know if I'd be thrilled with that at all. Now, there's no stocks on this thing, and supposedly it's going to shift into the gears when you want them, or when it thinks you should shift into a gear. Like if you're in the garage, it's going to put you in reverse. We'll see how that works. I've seen a few things Tesla did that kind of hit and miss sort of works. So I'm not really sure about how that's all going to work out, but we'll see. Having a third screen for the back, yeah, I guess that's okay. Maybe if you got kids, they could have a little screen back there, and that's okay. And more stereo stuff, I don't much care. I run the radio, and I'm not a huge music guy, so that's not any big deal to me. It does have a couple of phone chargers, which I guess is kind of nice instead of one. I think that probably is a little better. And I've mentioned a little bit about Powertrain. If you buy the long range, it's got 2 motors. You buy the Plaid, it's got 3. And the Plaid Plus, of course, you got 3. And gobs and gobs of horsepower. 0 to 60 time, it's not going to get any better than the 2.3. Yeah, they say 1.99 and so on, but the tires can't handle any more than about 2.3 anyway. So that's your limiting factor, is that the tires just simply can't get traction for that. If you want to put a bunch of power out of an electric motor, you just turn on the power. If you've got enough power available, it'll go through the motor, and I don't care if it's a 100-horse motor, you can put 300 or 400 horsepower out of it if you just throw a whole bunch of power to it. You're limited in that by the tires and the traction control and so on. Fast charge might be a little better. They're probably using the new cells. you only get 250 kilowatts for a short time. It goes up to about 50%, and you really don't get it for a long time. So you may get it for a longer time there, which would mean it would charge faster. It says it'll do 200 miles in 15 minutes, which is that's pretty good. Range is up to 412 miles for the long range, 390 for the Plaid. That's it's incremental, but like the old one has is 387 for the performance. They don't have a performance; they just have the Plaids now. So the performance that I have is 387. The new Plaid is 390. So yeah, it's not a big deal. It's interesting that the long range is only 670 horsepower. I say only. It's a little bit lower horsepower than the old performance model. It does come with the heat pump, which I think that's kind of interesting. It doesn't make a lot of difference to me. I like the car to warm up really fast. I'm not sure the heat pump will warm it up really fast, but I think it's a better product. One little issue that I haven't seen anything on. Now the pictures show it, but they say nothing about air suspension. Now I'm sure it's got to be on there. If they're going to put that Plaid out, they're going to have to get the cheetah stance and all that. So they're going to have to lower. So I'm sure it's there, and it looks like it's there in the pictures of the chassis. Now the next issue that I thought we should look at, because I recently bought one of these things, and I know what the price was. And what I did, mine was probably about the most expensive one you could buy at the time as a Model S. Not the X is more expensive, but when I got mine, I got the performance that had Ludicrous Plus, and the color was red. The interior was cream. Those are all the premium ones for that car. The price that I ended up paying after taxes, sales tax and all the rest of that, and there's no discounts on it, I ended up with $114,523. That's the price I paid for the car. This new one, if I got the same thing I got now, or at least as close as it could be, would be the Plaid, not the Plaid Plus, but the Plaid. The total price on that, using the sales tax for my state, would be $147,858. So yeah, the price has gone up considerably. If I was given the chance to do this over and buy the new one, I wouldn't do it. There's some things I like about it, but I have several little issues with Tesla. One, their build quality is not good. It's better than it was. And probably the Model S has got about as good a build quality as they've ever had, because they've been building it for a long time. But build quality is an issue. It's always going to be an issue with a company this young. And I see probably some mistakes made on these newer ones when they first come out with them. I'm sure there's going to be some teeth cutting problems. And so, you do have to wait till March. I had about a $10,000 discount. By the time I bought mine, he had dropped the price. Elon, he dropped the price a couple of times in that thing. And then he decided to raise the full self-driving price to $10,000. Well, so I bought mine while you could still get the $8,000 for the full self-driving. And so, is this new car a better deal? It's not a better deal now. I think it's going to be how it is. would never want any more performance than I've got right now. Anything more than what I've got now is just ridiculous. So, should you buy the new one? I guess you'd have to buy the new one unless you want to buy a used car. But I'm actually quite happy I got what I got. Part of this reason being, this is not something that I could go do this every couple of years. This was my last shot, and so I needed some discounts to make this thing make sense. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the new Model S. That's it on this one.